Hello and welcome to this channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the today's Hindu editorial analysis. So how are you? Hope you are doing fine. And today I found the Sunday editorial consists of many science editorials and many important newses that is important. So I came just back after the yesterday newspaper editorial. So you can check out that video. So today we'll cover about the front page is covering. Let's have a recap what we are going to cover. So the front page is covering about Iran nuclear facility hits as Israel continued to bombing. DGCA order action against the three AI official over systemic failures in managing pilot. Second page will cover about on the occasion of International Yoga Day. It is celebrated at international level. Our CM performs on a river bank. Narendra Modi at Visakhapatnam. And also at the international level, it is in China, 1000 in China joins the Yoga Day events, and also at the UN headquarters. So we will discuss all this. Next is about the decisions yet on hangar facility of British 5 F-35 jet and 827 evacuated from Iran under the Operation Sindhu. Next we'll cover about the Bihar specific. Is poll-bound Bihar Nitish increases the welfare pension from 400 to 1100, and there is a rare blood donor registry with a e-Rakt Kosh. So it's also important. 6.3 covered the science covering the India as a magnet for a global science, says Ramakrishna. 7th we will cover about the DNAs, how it is, what is the biggest challenges in DNA analysis. 8th will cover about the how the Israel-Iran conflict impact India, and Pakistan nominates a Trump for 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. So these we are going to cover. So let's start with the front page with the thought of the day, that what is success. So everyone has a their different meaning for success. It is not just up to it is not defined at a specific level, that if you go achieve something, if you get only that thing, then you will be successful. Where you are happy and where being able to go bed each night with your soul at peace, whatever that you are doing, success has definition that if it will bring peace to your mind, calm to your soul, and that's where you win in the life. So let's start with the front page is about Iran nuclear facility hits Israel continuing bombing. So still the war is ongoing, and the IAEA confirms the attack on two centrifuge production sites in Iran of a rule out of radiological consequences, and Iran launches a missile at Israel military told to prepare for a prolonged campaign. So these attacks having struck at Iranian nuclear research, and it's killed 3 senior Iranian commanders. And this is smoke rose from an area near a mountain, and where the province's deputy governor's security affair Akhtar Saeli confirmed that the Israeli strike damages the facility and caused no casualties. So these are the happening there. And also next is about the DGCA. So DGCA has India too removes the 3 official or top executive in flight operations and department. Already the incident happened at Ahmedabad tragedy incident, and after that the DGCA Ministry Director of General Aviations that come under the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and it is issued on the copy of which has been renewed for Hindu states, and there is no official confirmation. Airline said that state has been implemented to such an order, so that order came during to heighten the security of Air India following a last week crash in Ahmedabad. So it is specific. Next is the that yoga should guide the world from stress to solution. So the Prime Minister calls for marking his year's International Day of Yoga as a beginning of yoga for humanity, and it is a pause button for humanity needs to breathe, balance, and become whole again. So on the it is the 11th International Day of a yoga in Visakhapatnam, that yoga offer a pathway to peace in some times, and there is a more than 3 lakh people gathered. It is created a Guinness record also, you can say. So human wealth being depends on the health of soil that produces a food, that river that supply water, animals that share our ecosystem, and plant that nourish us. statement according to the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. Next is that CM performs yoga on river bank, says government efforts to clean Yamuna visible. So CM Rekha Gupta performed yoga on the banks of Yamuna river on Saturday on annual International Yoga Day, and cabinet colleagues Kapil Mishra, North Delhi MP Manoj Tiwari, Chief Secretary Dharmendra, senior officials, and there's several school children there. So it is a message for public from the decentralizing sewage treatment plant, its STPs, laying a new severe lines, water pipelines, whatever it is needed to clean. We are constantly doing it and performing yogas here. We want to message the people that the Congress for 27 years and for the AAP after 11 they don't that the cleaning of the Yamuna river. So let's see that this government, let's see how we can manage these all things. So Son Bihar student performing yoga on Yamuna on the Saturday. She said thousands of tons of water hyacinth have been removed from the river using advanced technology, and hiding out the previous Aam Aadmi Party, AAP and Congress government CM said over the years the city has been seen a government but they did nothing for Yamuna. So this is a statement claimed by Rekha Gupta, CM. And she added that witnessing the youngsters performing yoga boasts deeply inspiring sights, said that it was the first time such grand celebration was got recognized by Delhi government. More than 20,000 people in the take part in this, creating a new milestone. So next is Operation Sindhu. 827 evacuated from Iran. We will cover in next page. Fourth is about the no decisions yet in hangar for facility of British F-35 jets. So F-35 jet is a 5th generation aircraft, and it is departing from the technical glitch will be fixed. So it is landing on the night on 14 June. Prolonged stay in Travantapuram, and it is emergency. Facing a technical glitch, and after that protected during emergency landing and are protected, not disclosed by any one agency. So IF is facilitating the emergency. Here it is a 5th generation stealth fighter jet. So it's rectifying all the subsequent aircraft and been maintaining the combat jet of Royal Navy. Next is that 827 evacuated from Iran under Operation Sindhu. So still the all the citizens are evacuated from day by day, and the special flight from the Mashhad are being organized with the cooperation of Iranian government and come across the hostilities with Israel spokesperson. Fifth is about the poll-bound Bihar. Nitish increases the welfare pension. So the Bihar elections is ongoing, and after that major announcement which would benefit the 1 crore of people in the state, and Mr. Kumar has increased the pension under social security scheme. The elderly population with a disability, widows of Bihar, and a Mahila Samvad program at a CM secretariat in Patna. So it is informed that there is under the social security pension scheme of old age, differently able people receive a pension of 1100 per month instead of 400. So they increase the pension from 400 to 1100. And it will receive and revise the pension starting from month of July, and it will be ensured that the amount is transferred to account to all beneficiaries of 10th of every month. Rashtriya Janata Dal leader Tejasvi announces to seem the counter of opposition. So Mr. Yadav has promised to give 2500 Ma Behan Samman Yojana, increasing the old age disability from 400 to 1500, and he also promised to provide a gas cylinder of 500. So there is several announcement after reviewing the meeting. Jivika project is also self-reliant government initiated Jivika project in 2006 by taking a loans from World Bank, and he had approximately 1.4 crore Jivika Didi in the state have become self-reliant, joining self-help groups. CPI General Secretary and it's said by Modi Nitish government has increased the old age disability, and it is just from 13 to 37 per day, and it is a price that leaves on the elderly day disabled. So next is that about India to set to integrate a rare blood donor registry with e-Raktkosh. So its integration will allow the rare blood group to access centralized system. The challenge is to ensure the country has steady motivated group of donors who stay connected to World Bank. So blood donation is one of the, you can say that, great donation, and in lifetime you can like donate 2 times of blood in 6 months of weeks. So, and if you are a rare, if you have a rare blood group, then it's a very good thing if you donate the blood donation camp, because it can be help to some person that they really need it. And after, you know, that after 120 days the blood formation again start. So it's nothing, if you are healthy and if you are capable of it, then you can donate the blood. There is nothing loss of any person in this. So have you ever donated the blood? So we have already like there's a rare blood groups are like the like a rare diseases, you can say that it's a hemophilia persons, von Willebrand brand disease. So the integration of a group to access a centralized system developed under the National Health Missions, providing a detail of blood banks, blood availability across the blood donation camp across the country, essential finding blood and their stocks and donors. So it created a database of 4,000 carefully screened donor tested over 300 rare blood markets and helped doctor to find the specifically matched blood quickly. Rare donors registry India has been developed to develop a patient, held the patient to across the India, so management across the CMS. It's CRMSCH. Next is about India is not a magnet for a global science, says Ramakrishna. So these are some key pain points in India science are a delayed release of a funds every year. Research scholar not being paid scholarship as long as year of a whimsical ways of science policies. So like with the US terminating the several research programs, firing thousands of federal scientists, cancelling important high values federal researches, $8 billion ready and further cuts of almost 18 billion next year of the National Institute of Health proposed the cuts of $5 billion next year, and it is proposed cut of nearly 25% of NASA's budget for 26. So this analysis according to Nature, it's a Nature carriers US application European vacancy 32% March this year compared to March. A Nature poll found that 75% responded keen to leave the country. So it's not a it's a competitive like European Union. At least a handful of European countries that has committed a special funding to attract researcher US. But since but since the committed funding is dropped by a scale of funding cuts, is comparison to India has only a handful of institutions such as IIC, NCBS, ICR, IITs, Avendo. So there is a India general magnet for international science. So Professor Ramakrishna adds, so there will be a few scientists who will move, but I don't see a exodus. Like India's raw and development investment as a fraction of GDP is much less than China. Neither is the funding infrastructure general environment in India is attractive to top level international scientists. So with the US firing thousands of federal scientists and cancelling high values research grants, many scientists are eyeing for other countries, and US applications for European vacancies shot up 32% by March compared to March 24. In many developed countries, the ratio of private to public investments almost 2 or more. In India is almost opposite. India has a demographic dividend. However, this is a temporary advantages if India squander and find itself unable to compete with future and other Asian West. So this funding of science in India has increased to absolute terms, and percentage of GDP allocated for R&D has reduced. That's why this is the bad conditions in India of scientists, and they are fleeing to the foreign countries. And US now they are just exiting all the scientists, and they are attracting to the European countries. What is the biggest challenges in DNA analysis? So what is a short tandem repeats? Why is STR most widely used genetic marker for identifying humans? And why is the sample quality of data analysis and interpretation is important? So what is it's a contamination or degradation of sample overcame. So like there's a 270 people, most of them are passengers. Most of them passengers were killed on June 12. 270 killed. Uh, on the Indian Air Flight 171A, London-bound Boeing 787 Dreamliner crashed less than a minute after taking off. DNA samples from victim family members have been collected and matched, and most remain have already identified. So how do DNA samples help? Like they are analyzing the unique regions of their DNA. While human DNA is 99% identical, human 9% identical, the remaining 0.1% include the unique sequences called short tandem repeats, STRs, and these are the specific feature that differentiate others. So this is a crucial for forensic investigation, and DNA profiling focuses on a specific reason called genetic markers. These are the genetic markers. This provide genetic markers, with the STR being preferred to markers due to the variability among individuals except the monozygotic twins. Identical twins, they are a little bit difficult to identify them, but almost it is like provide a information in every one. So the STR are most widely used genetic marker of human identity. So determination. So it is possible to clarify the most legal forensic cases, and generally very high degree of certainty is used. Identification of human remains generally performed by the comparing the genetic profile, and so Data Institute for Genetics and Society. DNA is a molecule that carries a genetic instruction. DNA that consists of molecule that carries the genetic instructions, and DNA profiling can be caused in identification of skeletonized, lightly decomposed human remains. Identification is usually carried by comparing the remains of the genotypes, references, samples. So what is the process followed to collect and restore the sample matches during disaster? So in the case of accident victims, DNA samples may be degraded or contaminated with biggest challenges forensic expert, like it is ideally frozen at minus 20 degrees Celsius, and in soft tissue, skin, muscle, they may store 95% ethanol. And after that, like magnitude of sample tissue, nail, bones, body fluid, blood, etc. can be identified to establish a family relations. Okay? Although in the case of establishing a family pattern, STR process is used in case of establishing family relationship. And after that, sample collection, PCR and PCR, using the PCR and the extracted DNA is amplified by specific primer targeting the STR region. So these all are come in the genetic, where you read about the genetic profiling, DNA profiling. This was basically done by the genetic analyst. So DNA profile, advanced counterized system, and genetic profile is done compared to DNA profiles. So the DNA articles solution is analysis, interpretation, noted DNA fingerprinting, forensic. These are mainly by forensic department. It is a bedrock of DNA, and you can say that its sample quality is a bedrock of DNA fingerprinting. DNA samples detect the accuracy result. Challenges arise from various sources as environmental degradation, contamination, samples. It's a contamination interpretation challenge include ethical concerns, privacy issues, misinterpretations. So when the DNA finger be crucial, like including like natural disaster, fatality, several fatality, terrorist attack, force authorities use DNA analysis to establish identity. DNA fingerprintings uses victims of 9 by 11 terrorist attacks, and besides the standard tool for identifying the individual in a various criminal cases. So it's a whole details about the DNA analysis that is done on for the patients, on the persons that are dead in the Ahmedabad flight crash. Nobody know the family relations, and by using the DNA analysis they got to know their family relations, using their hair, using their nails, hairs, whatever the remains body parts remain in that crash during the crash landings. And the last one is about. So how the Israel and Iran its conflict they impact the India. So how it is India's reacted to conflict. It's like Narendra Modi received all the call from Israel and Iran Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Iran nuclear facilities. Several cities, including Tehran, where senior Iranian generals were assassinated through the targeted strikes. Iran argued that UN Security Councilors, even Israel, claimed that they were preemptive, not in retaliation to an attack. And this is a shared India's concern emphasizes the reason. So what about the India's caught in conflict? As the ME and its embassies, Tehran, Tel Aviv evacuation efforts was put in the name of Operation Sindhu on a priority of unlike the rest of West Asia. 10,000 students and professionals in Iran and about 25,000 workers students there reach in Israel, which many of them moved to the certain field for constructions, caregiver, Palestine workers, and Iran has been even open to the airspace, otherwise closed due to the war, and also the chartered flight carrying Indian citizens home. So it is important to keep them safe. In a government has learned from past conflict, necessary to find the work, study opportunities for those coming back to and they end in a conflict zone. So apart from the loss in remittance, what is the stake for India's economically? Like there are declining trade with the both Iran and Israeli in last few years due to the tension in that region. So after that, India's vote to the previous Trump administration demand the cancel of world trade for face sanction, and Iran dropped about 14 billion in 2017 to 1.4 billion last year. The tension in Gulf region also included operation in Gaza and billion of 22 to 3.75 billion last year. So what is the geopolitical impact of for New Delhi to worry about? Like it has always been a tricky tightrope balance for New Delhi. It gives strong ties with both countries and polarized parts of world they represent. Like US and G7 countries have largely backed Israel strike as right to defend itself. And US President Donald Trump is it's a mulling decisions to formally join the attack on Iran, but unquestioning even if he doesn't. So on the other hand, Global South has been very critical on Iran-Israel war in Gaza, current crisis. After that stand, India took with the SCO all the eyes on what will be position. Like Mr. Modi taking his travel to Brazil for BRICS summit and emerging economies on July, uh, sorry, 6, 7, and South Africa BRICS grouping includes the new member of Iran, UAE, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia. So these are the new members, and the Gulf region to be focused. And for West Asia, it is not to source 40% remittance and 54% oil imports of region across the $117 billion trade. So it's a pro-Israel shift in a first non-Arab nation recognize the Palestine-Israel conflict, and this attack even required to connectivity through Arab countries. Israel to half-year report. So these have the impact of Iran-Israel on India. Next is the Pakistan nominates Trump for 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. So after this war, decisive diplomatic intervention, recent India-Pakistan conflict, they are nominated Trump for Nobel Peace Prize. Look whoever is nominating. DR Congo, Rwanda make peace, says US President. So these all for today. Just today's are very short. And like on Sunday there is just some FAQ type and science tutorials. That and daily tutorials are from the tomorrow. So just ending the session with a summary. So the Iran nuclear facility hit, the Israel continues bombing. DGC order against 3 AI officials over systemic failures in managing pilots. Second is the International Yoga Day is performed at international levels. New Delhi, Narendra Modi have seen, everybody is covered in the Hindu analysis page. We have seen all this. And also decision of a hangar facility for British F-35 jet at 27 evacuated from Iran under Operation Sindhu. How it is the India is not a magnet for global science, says Ramakrishna. How it is is not a good center for global science, not giving a funding, delayed release of funds every year, research scholars are not being paid. These are the problems discussed by Ramakrishna sir, Nobel laureate Venkataram Ramakrishna. Seventh is about the biggest challenges in DNA analysis. Eighth, we cover about the Iran-Israel conflict impact in India, and Pakistan nominates Trump for 26 Nobel Peace Prize. So thank you for today. So alternate days we'll meet with a new editorial. Till now, take care, good night, and give me a feedback, suggestion, anything that you find that it is missing out in this editorial. And if you're new to channel, just subscribe to my channel and get updated to every current affairs, editorials, Hindu analysis that is discussed in a detail here. So thank you, and let's meet with the next editorial. Okay, bye.